Continuing the Halachot of Chaim Igal regarding the Halachot of Zachor. He says over here, Izharu eta gidolim ala ketanim lebal yifru b'kriyat Zachor. Rabotai, this week when we bring our children to shul, we have to be very careful that the small children do not bother the adults when they come to fulfill their obligation in listening to Zachor. How? Because Rabotai, when they say Amalek, they might start hitting on the ground, so this can come and stumble the tzibur by not listening to every single word properly. That's halacha number one. Halacha number two, Kol hatzibur tzrichim l'shtok u'lahazin l'krit Parshat Zachor me'ashlik tzibur hakoreh b'Torah ve'en lahem l'kro b'pihem kalal mitoch hachumash. The congregation, Rabotai, must listen and pay close attention to every single word that the Shalich Tzibur is saying, and they're not allowed to read from the Chumash at all, but rather they should focus on what the Chazan is saying. Rabotai, a little Mussar, I would like to read for you over here what our actions can cause. The consequences of our actions will have big effects, not only on us, but Rabotai, on generations to come. We spoke about it yesterday. Enough with the complaining and start taking responsibility. So he's continuing on that point, and he says like this. It says in Masech Shabbat Daf Nun Dal Amud Bet, Parato shel Rabbi Eliezer ben Azariah הייתה יוצאה ברצועה שבין קרניך שלא ברצון חכמים. The cow of Rabbi Eliezer, the son of Azariah, his cow would come out with a string, with a strap between the horns, against the will of Chachamim. The Chachamim say that the cow should not carry on Shabbat, and nevertheless, this cow went out on Shabbat. Ve'amru sham, and it says over there in the Masech Shabbat, Lo shelo hayata ela shel shechinoto hayata u'meto shel micha ba nikra al shemo. Rabotai, listen to this carefully. Rabbi Eliezer ben Azariah did not have this cow. This cow did not belong to him. The problem was that Rabotai, the cow belonged to his neighbor. But what was the problem? The fact that he did not rebuke his neighbor. By him, everything was kosher, everything by him was glad, always be happy. He did not rebuke his neighbor, so they called it on his name. Ve'amru osham, it says over there furthermore, Kol mi she'efshar limchod la'anshei beito, anybody who has the capability of protesting against his family members, v'lo michan, he does not protest against them, nitpas al anshei beito, he's going to be held responsible for the averas that his wife and children do. So if your wife and your children might be watching TV, or they want to go to a place where they're not supposed to be, or they want to use foul language, and you want to be a tzaddik, and again, there are times when you should close your eyes, but Rabotai, not 99% of the time, and you do not rebuke your children, you do not rebuke your wife properly, pleasantly explaining to her that this is not allowed, Rabotai, if she goes to the pool where there's men and everything, or beach, or mixed seating, mixed dancing, you should know, Rabotai, the husband might be home like a tzaddik learning Torah all day. In Shammai, you will be held responsible to why you did not educate your wife and your children to go in the proper derech. That's only, Rabotai, if you are in charge of your house. What happens, Rabotai, what happens if you are put on the city, you are the leader of the city, and you see that your city is doing not good things, and you don't say a word to them, and you don't rebuke them, because you want to be loved by everybody. Rabotai, you should know he will be responsible for all the affairs of the city. What happens if now the person is the leader on the whole world? The whole world looks up to him. The guy has money, he has everything. But Rabotai, he's trying to find favor. He's trying to find audience, so he speaks everything nice, so people do not get upset with him. But if he said the truth, people would have listened to him. You should know over here that the whole world's sins lie on his shoulder. He says over here, Harei Barur is clear. Shemilvad Masha Achra'im Anu Al Maseinu, besides what we have to be responsible for our own actions. Kimoken so tzu Rabotai Anu Achra'im Al Masei Acherim Im Haya Biyadenu Huchicham V'lomdam Derech HaYashar. So too our responsibility is on every single Jew, if it is possible, for us to be able to rebuke them and try to be able to help them. Rabotai, this is our problem today. Everybody's for themselves. That's what this generation is called the I generation. iPhone, iPad, selfie. Everything's about the I. Nobody cares really about the other person. Rabotai, conclude with this. Over here brings down, he says, if a person is not able to complete himself, he's not able to work on himself, מלבד מה שאחראי על עצמו, גם אחראי על בני ביתו וכל סביבותיו, שוודאי כפי מה שאדם משלים את עצמו, כן אחרים יהיו משפעים ממנו. Rabotai, if a person is able to complete himself, you should know your surroundings also will be able to be completed. But the other way around, if a person does not complete himself, everybody around you is also going to be influenced. Nimtza comes out. שכל בחירה שאדם בוחר, אין הבוחר רק לעצמו. Rabotai, stop being selfish and jealous. When a person makes any decision, you're not only deciding for yourself, but rather you are deciding to your children, to your grandchildren, until end of generation. So that means that, Rabotai, when you decide to be on that phone doing shacharit, or mincha or aravit, or doing learning Torah, so you think, what effect does it have? What am I doing wrong already? 2 minutes on the phone. You're doing nothing wrong. Today it's this little. By your children, it's going to even go more. By your grandchildren, even more. Halavai, if our children, after 4 or 5 generations, will stay Jewish, Rabotai. Our decisions have effect even 20, 30 years from now. What's the proof, Rabotai? He says like this. The Torah said, Vayishlach le'to'ar et mishpachat Esav. Right? If you pay attention, in Parshat Vayishlach, when it goes ahead and it enumerates Esav's children, Aluf Teman, Aluf Emor, right? All the children after Esav. And the Pasukim scream to us, he says, how big this mishpacha was of Esav. Vikula halchala evadon. Everybody was lost, meaning everybody went off the derech. Vikol kach lama. Why did everybody lose their way? Mishum sherosh hamishpacha Esav haya rasha. Because Esav was a rasha, Rabotai, the head of the head. He was the head of everybody. He made the wrong decisions, Rabotai. Everything followed through him. So when you have your wife or your ochumo or your chudo or somebody, Rabotai, call you and tell me, come to a place where you're not supposed to be. Rabotai, you could go now, but the repercussions you're going to have to face with your children tomorrow. Don't tell me, Rabbi, my child, he says his child wants to marry Christina or Aguilera or whoever. Rabotai, all this happened because of the father. But if Esav would overpower his Yitzhar and become a tzaddik, instead of saying Aluf Amon, Haya Harava Gaon Teiman, he would have been the big rabbi Teiman. Instead of going bad, instead of looking at him disrespectfully as an evil person, he would have become a big rabbi. Rabotai, remember this. I understand you guys have a lot of time in your hands. I understand you guys have money in your hands. I understand you guys have all the street that's not going to help you tomorrow. Wake up and make the right decisions. You want to sleep, wake up, because when the children wake up and they see father still sleeping in his bed, that's a problem, Rabotai. On Shabbat, when the children see the father and mother all these sitting 4 or 5 hours on the table instead of being in shul, Rabotai, this is a problem. On their phones, it's a problem, Rabotai. And then don't say why my children do not have a cheshek, why they don't have a desire to serve Hashem. No, my brothers, they have a desire to serve Hashem. You cooled off the desire because they see it's not important to you, so it's not important to them. Baruch Adonai.